It's your homegirl Aina More, and you're tuned into Booshbingbang TV. Ow!
Killing it. Me and my girls, am I killing it? Me and my girls, am I killing it? And we not send anybody. And we don't care what the limit is. When we roll out, yeah.
So my name's Aina More. Authentically, that is Aina Morenike, which is my middle name. And I'm from London, born in Camden, raised in Kent. And my mum's from Ibadan, my dad's from Ijebu-Ode. And I go back and forth to Nigeria quite often. Do I know how to speak Yoruba? Well, I like speaking Yoruba. Can I speak it well? That's a whole nother thing. I try to, but as you can hear, my accent, the English accent, is quite strong, and a lot of the Yoruba has the ba, all of that, which I can fall off on, but I can understand quite well. Speaking, I'd give myself like 30%. Between 1 and 10. Listening, I'd give myself like an 8. Speaking, maybe if I'm angry, I'll give myself a 5, but on a normal day, like 3. But the anger gives it that. How did I get into music? I think music got into me. I was always like into creative arts from a young age, like from probably around the age of 6. I really like English language and literature, writing stories, writing poems. And around that age as well, I started doing violin lessons. They didn't go on for long, but it introduced me into music and classical sounds, and from there I really started listening to music differently. But as Aina More, as the artist, I started recording in 2011. Oh, my first single was Jaburata, but before the single, it was actually quite funny how the whole music thing started. It was almost like a fluke that was meant to happen. I was in a studio and I was with an artist. He was working on his song and he knew that I was into writing, like playwriting and spoken word writing. So he was like, he was trying to like scratch his head over one verse, and it was like that I should just write it for him. So within like 10 minutes, by the time I went to the shop and came back, I'd written it. And it was like, oh yeah, it's dope and stuff, but can I demonstrate the verse for him? So can I get in the booth and record it for him? So I'd done that, and he was like, no, I'm keeping this verse. And immediately I heard it, I was like, no, this is for me. And I think the week after that I recorded what was my first EP. So like before the single, I'd done an EP and I'd done a mixtape as well. It's a rap, which was completely recorded in Lagos, Nigeria, which has a lot of like spoken word, hip hop, and a lot of kind of political ideology around the music. Whew. That's a really good question. I think the first record I listened to that made me kind of really feel music, funny enough, was not even one record, it was the whole album. It was Mariah Carey's Rainbow album, which is really random, but in primary school I stumbled across the album, and that really got me listening to music in a different kind of way. But in terms of knowing I wanted to do this, it would have been a track by Kendrick Lamar, which is called Kendrick Lamar, so like a spoken word kind of song. And I heard that and I was like, yeah, the way this has reached to me, I want to be able to reach out to some other people like that. Getting involved in the Afrobeat scene for me was it was directly an influence of going back to Nigeria. So as I said, I recorded my first EP, and about 2 weeks later I was in Nigeria, and I'd pressed out like thousands of copies. So I was like distributing that and checking out the music scene. Then there was the Wax Lyrical was happening, so a lot was happening in hip-hop, but at that same time a lot was happening within the Afrobeat scene. And that's around the era that Wizkid's album had just dropped, and Afrobeats the sound was really like coming out in a different kind of way, in a new school way. So I thought, okay, why not, you know what I mean, bring what I was already doing, and also I was influenced by what was happening then. So I think around 2012 I recorded my first kind of Afrobeat song. A lot of the producers I was going to see out in Nigeria were kind of giving those sounds, although I was coming forward and I was like, yeah, I'm on my hip hop thing. Everyone was like, okay, why don't you try this or try that? So I'm open to a lot of different sounds. So that happened in Nigeria. Oh God, if I had to describe my music in 3 or 4 words, I'd say unpredictable, authentic, and honest. Authentic and honest are almost the same thing, but I'll put them separately. So yeah, unpredictable, authentic, and honest. When I perform a show, people can expect the unexpected. It's unpredictable. Even me personally, I never know what I'm gonna do. Like, I've got a show in like 3-4 days and I haven't yet decided what I'm going to do. I allow myself to be inspired directly by what's happening at the time. So the show that I just done in Nigeria, I opened up with a piece related to fuel scarcity. That's not something I could have kind of perceived, but based on the situation currently in Lagos, I made the piece tailor-made to the situation and the time and what's happening. So people can expect the unexpected. Just come on time, early, and be ready to get a vibe. That's what you can expect. Expect a vibe. In Nigeria, there's so much talent. There's a lot of talent that I'd like to work with, and a lot that I've been fortunate to work with. So the likes of Young L, Lyric, Mode 9. But I've got my eyes on a couple. I really like to work with Asha and Neka. And also Reminisce. I'm really feeling Reminisce and his whole sound. I love his flow and his approach to hip hop. Yes. Yeah, in terms of genres of music, I'd really like to delve more into the live sound. So I'm actually working on my album now, which will heavily be influenced and recorded live. I'd really like to get into a lot more soul and jazz, which I grew up listening to, a lot of kind of the classicals and the Louis Armstrongs and Diana Rosses. So I'd really like to get more into soul and jazz and live Afrobeat music. So not like the kind of get in the studio and churn out that new Afro pop kind of sound, but the authentic in the studio with the whole drummers and everything. So like even now, the show that I'll be going back to Lagos to perform at will be a 14-piece live band, and the one I just done was 13-piece, and I'm really feeling that authentic live sound. So in terms of genres, I'd really like to just develop on the hip hop. So yeah, get into different kind of live sounds. I definitely prefer performing live on stage, but it's something that came with time. So when I started, I was afraid of the stage. I was really it just frightened me, just the thought of being so exposed. Because when you're on stage, you can't hide. There's no editing, there's no kind of, oh, do this or do that. You really have to bear it all. So that really frightened me at first. And I was like, I really love being in the studio, and I still do love being in the studio, but live for me wins fully. You get to connect directly with the people and see how your music makes them react. What do I feel distinguished me as an artist? I think the thing that distinguished me would have to be defined by the people that receive my music, or the people that kind of feed into Aina More, because I feel like I can't answer that question. I'd like to think it would be the authenticity. That's what I would like for it to be, but the people will have to tell me that one. Wow, my biggest challenge as an artist has been, there's been two. The first biggest challenge was myself and the things I'd kind of tell myself I couldn't do. So in the beginning there was a lot of limits I put on myself, but eventually I realized, it's mind over matter, and whatever I set my mind to I can do. So that is out of the way. The second one, I guess it'd be two. I mean, growing up in a kind of working class family and having to kind of balance home life, family life, personal life, making money and investing into music, because music costs money, the whole shooting videos, recording, all of that. So it's hard to find that balance between making money, investing money, and having time for family and having time for your career. And then also being a woman, which I'd never ever like to see as an advantage or disadvantage, but particularly going back to Lagos, where women are kind of, or should I say, it's a patriarchal society, so men are kind of like at the top and they run everything, and it's a lot harder for women to access certain things. So that was a challenge, but we don't let that stop us. As I said, number one, mind over matter. My favourite record for people with short attention spans, that's a hard one. That is actually a hard one. I really like Ambience, which serves as the interlude, and I like it because it's something that is just the mood. So it's just a vibe, it's just a kind of ambience, which is why it's called Ambience. So no matter how I'm feeling, I can listen to it, and it's something I can have on and it not affect how I'm feeling. It's not turned up, it's not too laid back, it's just kind of there. I like all the songs on the EP, obviously, so it's hard to like pick a favourite, but I really like Ambience because it's just kind of neutral and it sits right in the middle of the EP. So Layback, the video is absolutely fun to make. I think that was the first video that I've directed pretty much all my videos, but it's the first one I sat down and said, alright, let's put a concept together that really kind of draws out the message of the song. And thank God the directors are absolutely fantastic, so everything went really smoothly. It was easy for me in the sense that because I'm used to performance and theatre, I just saw it as, okay, right now we're kind of doing a performance, so you kind of block everything out. But I mean, it was in the middle of Dulwich, prime time, daytime, so there were people literally stopping and beeping and all that kind of stuff, but you just kind of had to shut it out and keep it moving. And actually in the video it seems like maybe like a minute or so, but in real time it was like 3 minutes and we had to move really slowly, so you can, and it was freezing cold. It was like the middle of winter in October, I believe we shot the video, so it was absolutely freezing and we had to do it really slowly, but it was a lot of fun. And obviously in the name of the art, we focused on the art, and that was kind of the driving point. So the whole nudity thing really wasn't anything, just kind of brushed that off. Yeah, coming from a Nigerian background, obviously your parents are they're very adamant about education and sticking to, be it lawyer, doctor, whatever. So at first they were very kind of, what's going on with uni, why are you not doing this, what's going on with this, what's going on with that. There were a lot of questions and speculations, but I think once they realised that I was putting my foot down and I was serious about this and I was not wavering for anyone, they were like, okay, she's serious, we have to support her in this. I think once they realised nothing was going to stop me, including them, yeah, they kind of had no choice but to support, and now they're very supportive. My mum's in the Jabarata video, they support the new music, they come to my shows and stuff, so it took a while. It took a while, but we got there. They see the dream, they see the vision, and they believe in Aina More. So Girls Killing It was produced by DJ Jules, a Ghanaian producer. It's absolutely amazing. When I heard the song, like, we were in the studio and like we were vibing different sounds, and first of all, what hooked me was that whole kind of authentic African sound that I was absolutely loving. And I thought, you know what? One of my core beliefs is in empowering women and people being embraced for who they are authentically, like without the additions or without the pressures of society. So Girls Killing It was, for me, it was like the woman's anthem, but the real woman's anthem, not just, you know, because there's a lot that give accolades to women for, you know, or you've got the figure eight, or you can shake it, or you do this and you do that. And as much as it's fun to turn up to that kind of music, I felt like I wanted to make a song that was absolutely dope to listen to and jam to, but then also has substance and also has some kind of meaning and represents women who have worth and are proud to stand in that worth. So yeah, Girls Killing It, which I'm absolutely loving right now. Love performing it, love getting the girls involved for that. Yeah, it's the anthem for women. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to Booshbingbang TV. And if you're feeling your girl Aina More, you can catch me on Facebook as Aina More Official and all other social media platforms as Aina More. So that's AINAMORE on everything. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you find me there, Aina More, Snapchat. Hey! Like Machiavelli, you break down my rules, any means necessary. Brown skin, chocolate, dark king. The times whenever you're mad.